Hello, I'm Ciarán Lynch and welcome to OviCast, the Teagasc Sheep podcast. Each episode we bring latest insights, advice and technical updates for the sheep industry. In this episode we're joined by Dr. Tim Keady, who's our lead researcher in Ireland for a new EU-funded project called SMART. The project brings together a network of researchers from 8 countries, and Tim explains how the aim of SMART is to increase the awareness of those working in the sheep and goat sectors of the new availability of precision livestock farming tools. Now, Tim goes on to explain what precision livestock farming tools are and how they can potentially improve productivity and labour efficiency. We discuss how improving efficiency and reducing labour input is a challenge for the sector right across Europe. Tim outlines how the network of researchers involved will pool resources to identify solutions for the respective countries involved. As the project is in the early stages, those involved in the project are seeking farmers and stakeholders' opinions on precision livestock farming tools via an online survey. We start off, however, with Tim giving a bit of background to the project.
SMART project is about the precision livestock farming for sheep. It involves a multinational team of researchers from across 9 countries in the European Union, and the objective is to set up a network to share knowledge and improve the uptake of digital technologies and precision livestock farming, which would help to increase the efficiency and sustainability of sheep and goat systems across Europe and beyond.
Tim, you mentioned precision livestock farming. You might just explain to us what that is.
It's the use of advanced technologies to optimize the contribution of each animal within a flock. It's a tool for management of livestock by continuous automated real-time animal monitoring to improve production or reproduction, health or welfare or environmental impact.
Look, we see precision livestock, we see some of that kind of technology from basic drafting gates right the way up used in other sectors. Given the numbers involved in the sheep sector within flocks, certainly the larger flocks, it has scope certainly to maybe improve some management practices.
Well, yes, it has scope, and you're correct in saying that it is used quite a lot in larger animals such as bovines, dairy cow systems where the animals are valuable, but it is not used too often in sheep production systems, and that is often to do firstly with the value of each individual animal, or secondly the location. Like in intensive dairying systems, the cows are into the parlour twice daily, for example, and they can use PLF technologies on them, whereas if they're out grazing in fields or out in the hills, the opportunity that they use in PLF technologies is a lot lower.
Certainly, and you're right. I suppose from looking at the industry, we're seeing more and more gear becoming available though, and you have options from basic drafters to readers to various different implements coming on stream on the market at more affordable prices.
Yes, there are a lot of different types of equipment coming onto it, but in a previous survey that we undertook as part of a European project called SheepNet, one of the biggest drawbacks or limitations to the use of PLF technologies on sheep farms was actually the cost, because we must remember that in Ireland the average flock size is approximately 73 ewes, and when you consider that the price of some of this equipment can be up in the thousands, then cost is the major limitation. However, one potential advantage to using PLF technologies is that by European law, all small ruminants, be it sheep or goat, are now electronically tagged, so that would aid electronic identification.
Look, it's certainly not something that's going to suit every flock. It has scope maybe for particular users out there. Like you quoted figures on the uptake of it. I suspect, Tim, and you're involved with a number of European partners, that's similar if we look across the water or various other countries.
That's similar, particularly in meat sheep systems. However, in some systems involved in dairy where sheep are coming into the parlour, then there's a greater inclination to use PLF technologies such as milk recording and also for feeding concentrates within the parlour.
Just Tim, like in the project as a whole, you're involved in a number of partners right across Europe, and I know you're involved in other projects we might catch up with you in later episodes on, but you're all bringing together different ideas and different practices from it. What is your hope for this project?
Well, the main hope for this project is to try, well, firstly, when we start off with this project here, and the first objective is, or the first task is to identify what are the needs of our stakeholders. And when I'm talking about stakeholders, we're basically talking about predominantly farmers, but taking members from different stakeholder groups along the supply chain from production right through to slaughter. Secondly, when we identify what the needs are, then we will try and link or identify solutions that will solve these needs. So, for example, we may have a need in Ireland where we want a cheap weighing system that may already be available in one of the other 9 European countries that are involved in this. And then we would take that solution back to Ireland, implement it, evaluate it, and see does it work and is it value for money. We've got a total of 9 different countries involved in this project, and the countries are Ireland, France, the UK, Norway, Turkey, Hungary, Israel, and Estonia.
Certainly a lot of different systems going to be there. It'll be interesting to see, the different aspects and the different approaches each take to it. I suppose it's important just to put in context how many sheep we're talking about within even them countries that's involved in the project.
But when we're talking about the SMART project, we're talking about small ruminants, which is a combination of sheep and goats. And in the European Union, there's approximately 98 million small ruminants in the European Union, about 2.5 million in Norway. So that brings you up to the 100 million. Many of these small ruminants are found in challenging environments, with a lot of them being in semi-extensive and extensive systems and run on landscapes which would not facilitate other farm enterprises. So they're often harsh environments. Also, labourers can be an issue in sheep production. Currently, it's estimated that small ruminants employ about 7% of the European farm workforce. But with the way trends are going at labour at the moment, is that the labour is going down, flocks are increasing, and the number of animals per labour unit is increasing. And this is an issue that we'd be interested in looking at the role of precision livestock farm and digital technologies in improving efficiency in small ruminant production systems.
Tim, if farmers want to become involved, and I'm sure you're looking for some information into it, how can they feed into the project?
At the moment, we're identifying the needs of farmers, right, and stakeholders right across Europe, and it's a survey that's been run in the 9 countries. That survey is currently live. It went live 3 weeks ago, and it will be live until the end of June. It's been done online, so people can undertake the survey online. It is critical that we can get as many people as possible to complete this survey, but this will give us a better indication of what are the requirements or the needs of stakeholders and farmers and meat sheep productions that are relevant to Irish systems.
That's going to help steer it. Tim, I'll include a link to that in the description. We'll encourage anyone interested in it to complete that. Tim, look, it's good hearing about this project. It's an interesting, certainly different piece of work being undertaken at the moment. It's good to get the perspective of other countries in it too. And look, I'm sure it's one we'll catch up with you again when you have a bit more outcomes from it.
Yes, that'll be no problem.
Great having you on, Tim. Thanks very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to finish up at this point. Again, I suppose it just goes to highlight how technology can be incorporated into an industry and how things have moved forward in the past number of years. Again, I've included a link to that survey that Tim mentioned at the end in the description, and I would encourage anyone that has an interest in that area to consider filling out that survey and giving a bit of feedback to those involved in the project and help steer its future direction. It's one hopefully we'll be able to catch up again with Tim at a later date to find out a bit more about and how it's progressing. That's it for me for this episode. Again, for updates from our sheep programme, keep an eye on our Twitter page at Teagasc Sheep. I'm Ciarán Lynch. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and listen in to any of our episodes.